Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Track by Track. Today's guest is Craig Wayne Boyd, and we're here to discuss his brand new album, Top Shelf. Craig, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight, for letting us come in and talk to you about Top Shelf.
Well, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. So I want to know about the album. What was the overall process for you creating this album?
This album was a labor of love, if you will, because it's an album that I started almost 2 years ago, or 2 years prior to starting the album this time. It's an album that I went in and started right off of The Voice. I went out and was like, hey, this is the album I want to put together. And I got busy. I got busy doing what I love to do, and that's taking the music out to the people. I was out playing the music, and I had looked up 2 years later, was like, I still haven't put out a full-length album yet. And so we went back in the studio, this studio in fact, and went in and recorded this album. We went in and I kept a couple of the songs from the first batch, but really wanted to make sure that the album was who I am and where I'm at in life right now.
Okay, first track, Stuck in My Head. I already love the video. I love the song. Tell me about that song and what went into creating it.
Incidentally, that was one of the first tracks that I recorded for this album. It was from the first batch of tunes. And it was one of those songs that it does exactly what the title says. It gets stuck in your head. And I thought that should be the first song that we put out from this album. And it was lucky that I had my wife and bandmates and everybody that got to come be a part of that video, including a couple of the y'allers that drove in and were part of the music video. So I'm very excited about that.
Well, speaking of Stuck in My Head, enjoy the video.
Just a smile and a clumsy little hello. I spilled coffee on your shirt sleeve. Next to your name and dinner last night and a goodbye kiss. Still working on me. Girl, you're stuck in my head like a song on the radio. Stuck in my head. Everything about you is like bang, bang, bang. All up in my brain. You're stuck in my head, girl, you're stuck in my head. Hey! Oh, I close my eyes and I only see yours, girl. Wish I could look into them right now. I'm going crazy. You know you're going crazy too. Thinking about me like I'm thinking about you. Girl, you're stuck in my head like a song on the radio. Stuck in my head. Everything about you is like bang, bang, bang. All up in my brain. You're stuck in my head. Girl, you're stuck in my head. Yeah. You're stuck in my head. Girl, you're stuck in my head. You're stuck in my head. Stuck in my head. Girl, you're stuck in my head. Like a song on the radio. Stuck in my head. Everything about you is like bang, bang, bang. All up in my brain. You're stuck in my head. You're stuck in my head. Yeah, you are. It's like bang, bang, bang. All up in my brain. You're stuck in my head. Girl, you're stuck in my head.
Okay, so the next track is Somewhere in There. Tell me about this song and the story in it.
This song was one that I originally set out for it to be a duet, and we were going to do it with another country artist. And I got the phone call that that was not going to be happening because they got busy with another show and couldn't make it into the studio. So I called my wife about 45 minutes from being here and was like, "Can you meet me at the studio?" And I had her come in and sing it with me. And little did I realize that that was probably fate happening, because it's a song that really does tell our love story. And we got to perform that together on the Grand Ole Opry for the first time on December 22nd for Christmas Eve, basically.
Oh, wow.
So it was really cool to get to do that. And it's one of those songs that really does tell our love story.
Okay, next up is She's Killing Me. What's this song about?
It was one of those songs that I heard and I was like, this is really cool. I liked the concept behind it, and it had kind of this Motown feel to it. Mm-hmm. It had a playful side that I really thought was something that I wanted to put on this album.
All right, we're at Wild Ways. Tell me about it.
Wild Ways was a song that was off of the first batch of songs that I recorded. It was written by James LeBlanc, who I had written many a song with him throughout the years. And he sent me that one, and I was like, dude, this is it's such a cool song. It had that swampy feel that I really like. And I thought it was a good addition to this album. Here's a little ditty called Wild Ways.
My headlights towards the good times. Even Sunday couldn't save me from a Saturday night. Was hard times all the time. Yeah, I thought I left all that crazy behind, but my wild ways ain't over, 'cause I'm wild over you. Up all night, no chillin', but I'm getting to, taking on your curves too fast. Ain't no bottom in your glass, and my wild ways ain't over. Oh, my wild ways ain't over, 'cause I'm wild over you. Every time you kiss me, like whiskey, straight to my head, you know it hits me. Takes me way back in the neon minute. I sip of your trouble and I'm right back in it. My wild ways ain't over, 'cause I'm wild over you. Up all night, no chillin', but I might be getting to, taking all your curves too fast. Ain't no bottom in your glass, and my wild ways ain't over. Oh, my wild ways ain't over, and my wild ways ain't over, 'cause I'm wild on you. Taking all your curves too fast. There ain't no bottom in your glass, and my wild ways ain't over. Oh, my wild ways ain't over, 'cause I'm wild over you. 'Cause I'm wild over you.
My favorite song, We Sweat. The music in this, the way that you start off singing, I am addicted to this song. I want to know about it.
This is a song that I got from Walker Hayes and one of my good buddies, Josh Helms. And he brought it to me, and it was I didn't really know what to do with it at the beginning, because it was one of those songs I sat in here late night, and I had a kick drum, a cowbell, a dobro, and my vocal on it, and that was it. And I stepped out on the porch, and this car comes driving down the driveway. And mind you, this is like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, who the heck is here?
Right.
And this old Corvette pulls up, like a 70s model. And these two guys jump out of the car, and they had like long dreads. It was like, all right, I really don't know these people. Kind of crazy. And they come in the studio, and it ended up being two of the guys from the Wailers, from Bob Marley's band, and I played them what we were messing with after chatting for a little bit, and they started humming this melody line along with it. I was like, dude, can we go into the studio and record it? So we went in this vocal booth back here and recorded that. It was really awesome, and that's what pretty much propelled the song into what it is now, this massive jam session.
I love it. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, I know we're moving along. We've got Everywhere You Go. Tell me about this song.
Everywhere You Go was one of the first ones of the second batch of songs, and we were able to bring in, well, for one thing, this whole album has different musicians on every single song. So each song is kind of its own baby, if you will. And this was one that we brought in, like Rhonda Smith, that played with Prince on bass guitar, brought in Casey and the Sunshine Band's horn section. It was one of those that it was kind of broadening my horizons, if you will. And it was one of those fun things. I grew up playing saxophone, and I wanted to incorporate horns on this album, and that was one of those that I felt like we could really like stretch the boundaries, push the boundaries, but yet still keep it distinctly country, because that's what my voice is.
All right, we're halfway through. Sweet Temptation. Tell me about it.
It's another one of those songs that just grabbed me. I thought it would be a fun party song, and it was. It's got this flirty side to it that I thought was just really, really fun, and it expressed that side of me that I wanted to put on this album.
All right, Better Together. Just the title alone is great. So tell me about this song and why you chose it.
This is one that one of the only songs that I wrote on the album. We sat in this room here, and a good friend of mine, Brett James, came in, and we were going to it was almost like a catching up time, because we hadn't seen each other in a while. He produced some of the stuff early on when I moved to town, and when I was writing for EMI, and so it was kind of a fun thing. We were talking about California. He just went out there and done some things, and he was like, "Man, tell me about your wife," because we hadn't met. And he hadn't met her yet, and we started talking about some of the situations and things that had happened. And I told him, I was like, when I met her, I just knew that it was right. And we were standing up on top of a hotel bar in Santa Monica, looking out, watching the sunset. And I was like, I'd been there before, but I'd never seen the colors like that before. And he was like, it's kind of better with her, huh? I was like, absolutely. Like, there's the song.
Love it. Does she know that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Hold Me Up. That's another title that when you see it, you just think it's going to be a great song, and it is. It's fantastic. So tell me about that song.
That's another Josh Helms song that he brought to the table. Which incidentally, if you didn't notice, I'm a huge fan of him. Not only are we great buddies, but
Right.
It was, again, one of those really, really fun songs. And we got to do exactly that with the song and have fun with it.
Okay, Only in My Mind is the next track. And being that you have a lot of love songs and you've incorporated your family and your wife and the love for your wife, what is this song about, and what do you feel? What is your connection to it when you sing it?
When I first heard the song, I had to go back and listen to it quite a few times because it just grabbed me and pulled me in. And it's one of those songs about loss and dealing with that and coping with that. And I realized that there's a lot of people that are doing that. And I've dealt with it at different times in my life. But I really felt like this was something that I had to put out there for emotional support for other people, because that's what I feel like that's my job, is to go out there and help people, not only to take them out of their problems, but help them cope with them. And I felt like this was a song that would do exactly that.
Absolutely. And I think it's important, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because a lot of times people do have connections to those and they don't really talk about it, and fans are left to wonder, left to guess. So the fact that you're able to take your own emotions in that and deliver it to the audience the way that you did, I think is pretty great.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The Presence of the Lord song. Oh my goodness. The music in it, the vocals that you deliver in this song, everything about this song, the message, it's so powerful and so strong. And to me, it's the best Craig Wayne Boyd I've heard. So I want to know, what is this song for you?
This song started out for me back probably in 2007, 8, somewhere around there, being in Nashville and going out to jam sessions and things. Kenny Olson and Peter Keys were doing this open jam night thing on Monday nights, and I would go out there and sit in with them and sing various songs. There was a lot of rockers that going out there and stuff, and I thought it would be fun as a country guy to go out and do the rock music stuff too. And I was on my way to the show, and I pushed play on my iPod at the time, and I had put Eric Clapton's Greatest Hits in my iPod, and I hadn't listened to it yet, and this song came on. I was like, whoa, what is this? And I had to play it like probably 20 times in a row and sitting there bawling. I was like, man, this is a place that I want to find in life. Someday I will. And we went in and I told them about it, and we learned it and we played it out that night. It was just like so one of those moments. And when we were putting this album together, I called those guys up and said, you know what? I finally found this place that I want to be at. I've found that content place, that happy place, I should say. Happy, never content. So that was one I wanted to really share with people. I've always had that side of me. I don't wear it on my shoulder or wear it on my sleeve, if you will, but I do. I'm never afraid to run from that, and so I wanted to share that with people.
Well, it comes across very, very strong on the album. It's very moving, and I felt blessed to have heard it coming from you. So I just want you to know that is a very, very, very powerful song, and hearing you do it was very, very just amazing to me.
Well, thank you. That's where it came from for me, and it was one of those moments here in the studio that happened like that, with Peter sitting over here on this B3 that's you can't see right now, but. Yeah,
but it's there.
Sitting there, and I was back here in the vocal booth, and that's what came out. It was very cool.
Yeah, very beautiful.
My lips are gonna land on yours, your hands gonna slide in mine. One's gonna
Okay, now that we're done talking about all the tracks individually, let's talk about memorable moments creating this album. Was there anything that took place during the recording process of this album that stood out to you, or that was just funny or awkward or crazy, or anything really memorable for you?
I mean, I think the whole process in and of itself was memorable. But I mean, there's a few moments that were definitely special to me, and one of them being that having my wife come in and sing with me on Somewhere in There was really special to me, because I had never shared the vocal mic or any of that kind of my music period with anyone, especially in the creative part of it. I go in and create it, put it out, and then we share it. But to share the building and the molding of the song together with my wife was it was almost like opening up doors that I've never opened up to anyone else before. And so that was really special for me.
Thanks everybody for tuning in to this week's episode of Track by Track featuring Craig Wayne Boyd. If you have not gotten his album Top Shelf yet, make sure you head over to his website at craigwayneboyd.com and get yourself a copy. You can also find it wherever digital music is sold. Until next time, we'll see you soon.